Public transport users will finally be able to jump aboard ferries, trains and buses nationwide with the swipe of a card or a mobile phone from 2021. A working group made up of regional councils and the Transport Agency is set to roll out the integrated ticketing system in 3 years' time in Wellington, with other regions to follow. Jonathan Mitchell reports.
The plan is to develop a universal non-cash payment method that commuters can use on buses, trains and ferries around New Zealand. Wayne Hastie from the Wellington Regional Council, who's chairing the working group, says there are about 16 different types of ticketing systems in New Zealand, and that doesn't make sense.
Well, I think it's too many. It's inefficient. It means that if you travel to different areas, you'll have to have different cards to be able to pay. Some of them, like in Wellington, we're still using paper tickets on rail, which is really a pretty outdated mode of payment.
Current systems and cards such as Auckland's HOP and Wellington's Snapper cards will disappear, making way for one that allows payment by credit card, mobile phone or a transport card. A spokesperson for the Wellington-based lobby group Public Transport Voice, Paula Warren, says it's well overdue.
Very late. NZTA did a pilot in Auckland years ago that identified Thales as the preferred user, and that was supposed to flow on to cities like Wellington, and it never did.
And these Wellington commuters say after years of delays, a nationwide cashless system for public transport can't come soon enough.
It's a good idea, and that makes time and money, because otherwise, get one from here, get one from here. So to get one thing, do one time, it looks me good and useful. I will use it, and with my children, with my family. Yes.
Yeah, if they could load it onto a card or something, that would be far easier to use, and if it's linked to your details, then there's no issues if you lose it. You can just get the card replaced rather than buying a new ticket.
Paula Warren says the replacement system needs to be fair and reward public transport use.
I think it's important to think about how the fares are organised. We need a fare system, which means that if you use the services frequently, you're not penalised, you're actually rewarded for that. And so systems with caps, for example, so that once you've used your card a certain number of times, which is how Christchurch was operating, that after that you don't pay for public transport for the rest of the week or the month, is a really good idea.
But Wayne Hastie says it may not be cheaper to get around.
It'll make it easier rather than necessarily cheaper. So under this system, each region will still be able to set its own fares for public transport travel, but it'll be just a more consistent payment approach.
The new integrated ticketing is expected to be rolled out in Wellington in 2021, with the rest of the country to follow later. That'll be more than 3 decades after Hong Kong began using the cashless octopus card, and about 2 decades since the Oyster card was introduced in London. Better late than never. For Checkpoint, call Jonathan Mitchell, Tēnei.